So it's been a minute since I've been on. Yeah, last week got sick for a couple days, was out with that, so now I got some catching up to do, and we'll be doing an AEW Dynamite review right now. SmackDown, top 5 from last week, and then the current Raw review. So, AEW Dynamite, Beach Break. This was a really good arena. It reminds me of the old WCW arenas back in the day. It was so nice. But back in the day, WCW had nice arenas, but the shows absolutely sucked. This one had its moments. So, uh, Dynamite opened up with Tommaso Ciampa versus Chris Jericho. Um, I actually enjoyed this match. This is a 14-minute match with Tommaso Ciampa getting the win. Um, I mean, it's nice to see. I would say it's nice to see Jericho putting Ciampa over, but Ciampa's in his 50s as well, so. Um, so that was a good opening match. After the match, Ciampa hit Jericho with a chair to the head, but Jericho got his head up to block it, and Ciampa found a bag of tools under the ring and pulled out a drill, but the indie wrestler security guy stopped Ciampa from using it, and this will probably lead them to having another match down the road. There was a video featuring the Brawling Birds doing a duo of Jamie Hayter and Alex Winter beating up some dudes in a bar. Will Ospreay was interviewed by Rene Paquette, who asked him about the MJF Kenny Omega match. Ospreay said he was rooting for Omega so that he can face Omega at All in London. MJF walked in to say Ospreay is judgmental towards him. MJF mocked Ospreay for seeking approval from Jon Moxley and having a love-hate relationship with Omega. And MJF bragged about how he's leading AEW. And MJF said that Ospreay and Omega are good little wrestlers, while MJF said he checks all the boxes. And MJF said after tonight, Omega will never challenge for this AEW World Championship ever again. So, we'll see about that once we get later on in the match. Just remember, this guy up here is the one booking the show. AEW International Championship, Tacheka versus Kyle Fletcher for the International Championship. This is a 17-minute match, an incredible match, with Kyle Fletcher getting a big win, and he's the new AEW International Champion. I said this before. I think Kyle Fletcher needs to go after the big title. He needs to, go after these. He needs to be a main event player. Because unfortunately, when you get stuck in Don Callis' family, you kind of get stuck in the limbo. And, so Kyle Fletcher. After the match, the Don Callis family celebrated Kyle Fletcher as the new AEW International Champion. The conglomeration checked on Takeshita too. Now, let's hear from Mick Foley and the Don Callis family. Mick Foley made his entrance when the Don Callis family was in the ring. Tony noted it was Mick's first time on TBS since 1994. Foley said that this moment is about the new AEW International Champion, Kyle Fletcher. Foley asked what it's like to be Takeshita, and Kyle said that Takeshita was never his friend. Kyle said that Takeshita was riding his coattails. Said he did what he and Okada said they were going to do, and bring the title back to the family. Don cut Mick Foley off, saying this was a celebration of the Don Callis family. It's not about Mick stealing the spotlight. Foley said he means it when he says he was one of the greatest matches he's seen. Foley was wearing some custom shoes of a dog named Randall. And there was another dog on his shoe that is alive and well. Foley said he'll put those shoes with dogs on them. The TNT champion, Kyle Fletcher, congratulated Kyle Fletcher on bringing some gold to the Don Callis family. Knight said welcome to the club, and it took him long enough. Knight claimed he was still owned an AEW World title shot. And then Andrade made his entrance. Andrade said that Don Callis promised him the World Championship. Andrade said he promised Don that he's going to take one belt from the Don Callis family. Callis said if Andrade can beat Jake Doyle, then Andrade will get a shot at the AEW National Championship held by Mark Davis, which I don't think he's defended that title once. Those titles are just becoming props at this point. And there was Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay versus the Workhorsemen. This is the 9-minute match. It was an easy win for push wrestlers, beating guys who are almost never on Dynamite. Then a video aired about the new TBS champion, Hikaru Shida. She won the title last week on Dynamite, and Shida said that she told her she was going to do it, and Shida claimed that TBS stands for the best. Shida, the best is Shida is sure. Okay. Oh, the best Shida. That's what it is. And the next was the women's Casino Gauntlet match for a shot at the AEW Women's Champion title. Tekla was on commentating here, and she was great. She was an absolute thrill to watch, to listen to. Start off with Athena, and then next up was Maya World. Then Sky Blue, Mina Shikara, Rena Julia Hart, Thunder Rosa, and then number 8 was the returning Willow Nightingale. She is back after a few months off with an injury. She hit 2 spine busters and a double clothesline. Willow hit a cannon splash. World got blue and hit a Mikiyoko driver. Hart tried to roll up on Willow for 2, but Willow hit Babe with a powerbomb for the pinfall win after 18 minutes. So that means that Willow will challenge Thekla for the AEW Women's title at Redemption on July 26th. And after the match, Thekla went into the ring, hit a spear on Willow, Divine Dominion's Megan Bayne and Lena Cross, attacked Julia and Sky on the ramp. And then Mercedes Moné was also watching this match too. And then Mercedes went into the ring with the women's own cup title. And she hit Thekla and Willow with that title. The announcer wondered if Moné was working with Bayne and Cross. So a video package aired about Jungle Boy re-signing with AEW, because I didn't think he was going to go anywhere else. Luchasaurus spoke of how he wants to protect him, so Jack said he wants to be the AEW World Champion because that is where the best in the world belong. Shots fired at CM Punk. Jack shook hands with Tony Khan as he signed the contract. And then it was main event time. If Omega loses the match, then he can no longer challenge for the AEW Championship. Omega is 0-2 against MJF. MJF versus Kenny Omega. This match went 24 minutes, and this was an outstanding match. So, and yeah, there was a new AEW World Champion, Kenny Omega. So that means it's going to be Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. All in. It's definitely not. It's definitely wasn't the direction I thought they were going to go in. I wouldn't say it's a bad decision, but I guess if Will Ospreay is winning at All In, then it would kind of give Kenny Omega a short title reign. But yeah, this match was great. So and then Kenny Omega celebrated with the championship. Taz was pissed off with Will for taking the Dynamite ring from MJF and said that Ospreay had nothing to do with this. And yeah, and that was the end of the show. So there's been 3 AEW World Title changes in the last 3 months, which is actually kind of weird, which is not usual in AEW, but because I'm assuming Ospreay is going to get the win here at All In. And where would that leave MJF? At All In too, so we'll see there. But that's your Dynamite report. Let me know what you think, and I'll be doing a SmackDown review shortly from last week.